Hello, our lovely Girl Awakening listeners. Welcome to 2023. I'm Jo Hendy from the Sacred Sister Project.
I'm Amanda Parker of Mayala Organics.
Come with us as we journey into this week's Awakening episode.
I talk to a spirit. She comes in my dreams. She teaches me lessons.
Good morning, Amanda.
Morning, Jo.
Welcome to 2023, our beautiful listeners.
Yay, here we are.
Here we are. We had a chat and thought that we'd love to get somebody in, one of our special guests, to have a chat about 2023. So we've been lucky enough to call upon Narelle Clyde.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good morning.
so good to be here. Thank you for having me again.
Oh my God, we're so excited. Narelle's got a real sexy voice happening from her last podcast.
Yes, coming out the other side of some spiciness and feeling good, but the voice is just catching up.
The travel elixir.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we wanted to chat about a new year, new numbers, new things.
And today we've added up is the second of the first 23, number 8.
Yep.
Infinity Day, so it's all fitting.
Yes, I love that. So good.
No, it's actually, I'm wrong. I've added it up wrong. I just thought, because I had 23, it's 2023, so it's a 10. It's a 1 day. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So listeners,
That's very exciting.
Sorry,
one day.
Amanda. Don't listen to Jo.
with counting.
Yeah.
Many other things I listen to,
Yes,
not counting.
absolutely.
So 1 day. So that's that's the beginnings, isn't it? That's
New beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, which feels very fitting.
Yeah.
Because you do numerology, don't you? So
Yeah, it's not as an official, numerology readings or anything, but for my clients, I definitely would bring in a bit of numerology. Yes.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Such a great tool. So anyway, here we are.
Yeah. So we wanted to ask you, Narelle, what you feel 2023 holds for you, because a lot of the time, whatever's kind of going on within is a collective thing as well, as we know. We do have our little side parts that are more kind of individualized, but yeah.
Totally.
So we thought we'd just ask you about that, and then kind of pull that apart, and then just have a chat around what we feel is going on, and
Yeah. Cool.
exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Yeah, it is very much, as a collective, we are going through, whatever we're going through at any time. And then we have our individual life path journeys and personal years that we're moving through and everything else in between. And so I guess from a personal perspective, last year was very much just like one long dark night of the soul. Which I've spoken to a lot of people who've said similar things actually, and a lot of healing, a lot of growth, a lot of realizations, a lot of awarenesses, a lot of truths, inwardly and outwardly, and this really feels like a fresh start. That new beginning, that one feels very, very prominent for me personally, and a real opportunity to go, thank you for all of the lessons that 2022 brought. Amazing, deep gratitude. Actually wrote a letter to 2022 on New Year's Eve to just to have the thanks and the appreciation for everything that it taught me, everything that it brought. And I really felt like I could close a chapter on that and then invite in this new, fresh 2023 energy, which I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I woke up on the 1st, was that yesterday?
Yes.
Oh my God, it feels like days ago already. I just felt this burst of new energy, and a very, there's like this excitement, this new, this let's fucking go energy, bold, that's coming through for all of us, I think this year, and that's typical of a new year, and there's a lot of I don't want to say false motivation, but there's like it's a new year, new me, and I can do anything, and blah blah blah. But it really is about like it's time.
Yeah.
Let's just cut the bullshit.
Yeah.
And actually that was one of the things that came through after you'd invited me to come on for this podcast today. I had a few things come through, just dropping in, and one of them really was about just just cutting the bullshit and really your own, like any way you're getting in your own way, any way you're tolerating yourself for things that you really know are not good for you, whether that's people, environments, foods, whatever that is, like just cut it out. It's like, it's time. Enough is enough. Like we don't have time to fuck around anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm swearing a lot. I'm feeling passionate.
Hey. Yeah, passionate. That's the energy around it though is passionate though, and it's powerful. Yeah. It's like the clock is ticking.
I was just gonna say it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, and I get you're talking about all these wonderful things like the food and the people and all of those things. And what's coming up for me is my own thoughts, like my thoughts of not being good enough, my thoughts of you can't do that, your thoughts of even like reaching out to women about the podcast, or I can't ask that person because she's, she's got like, I don't know,
she's amazing,
200,000 followers or whatever, she won't want to come on. No, Joe, go for it. And that's what I've been getting from yesterday when I sat down. It was just like, no, Joe, you go
for it,
be brave, be bold. And that's so spot on, because that's what I've been getting, and we've had that conversation too. It's like for women especially, I mean, we can talk about women because we are women, but I think everyone in general has these thoughts of not being good enough, or can't do this or can't do that, or why would I do that, or am I too scared, or that. And it's like, exactly, it's time to say no more. It's like, the only person that's stopping us is us.
Absolutely.
That's
every
the
time
big
getting in your
realization
own way.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like nobody else can give you the permission, and nobody else can take it away from you. It's only you. It's always up to us.
Absolutely.
And that's, this responsibility piece as well. And that was, another piece that came through was radical self-responsibility. And that is being responsible for, like, yes, you've got a destiny. You've got things that you're here to do and achieve and become and enjoy and journey through. But only you can give yourself the permission to do that. And, being radically responsible for those thoughts and which are creating the feelings and the actions that follow. And it takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes boldness, all of that stuff. And
but that's what we're here to do. That's what we signed up for. It's like, it's time to step up and and do what we chose to come here to do. It's
Absolutely.
like, we didn't come here to have a mediocre life,
Hell no.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that it's been really coming in for me, and that excites me, where before that would scare me.
Yes, exactly. And anytime you're feeling a fear, turning it into excitement, just going to the other end of that stick, it really is that is exactly what we're here for.
And just what you said then, feeling the fear, because you were reading something out yesterday about feeling the fear and do it anyway. And I mean, there's a freaking book that's been out since the 90s, Feeling the Fear and Doing It Anyway, and there's Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. So many of us read that, acted on that, worked around that, may or may not have tapped into it in a way that felt powerful or not. But these words carry such a different vibration right now. Like when you were saying that, feeling that, and when you read it yesterday, I was like, I've heard that before, and I read it, thought it to myself again, as like, but it feels different. It feels different. It's so different.
There's a depth that is occurring with everything, and I'm definitely feeling that with words, with my senses. Everything is just taking on this whole kind of dialed up level, and and that's just carrying through everything. And I feel like the energy of this year is really, it's like an amplification, and so everything, your sight, smell, taste, touch, your third eye, your intuition, as well as thoughts and feelings and words and energy, it's all just like, it's like the dial has just been zamped up.
You'll go
There's
with that.
a
I like that word.
Zamped up. And I
We're
think
zapped up.
what you're saying too is that this is the 5D stuff. This is exactly where 5D resides, and us, floating in and out and getting a feel more for what the 5D feels like, and what we need to do to be able to stay in that resonance more. I've been listening to a book by a lady called Maureen St. Germain. It's Living in 5D, and she talks a lot about communication, and this, like Amanda just said, some things resonate and some things can take a little while.
Totally.
And she's talking about communication and how we need to also become aware of some of the words we're using, like always and never and everything or everyone, like words that are in our vocabulary and have been forever.
Yeah.
But we need to actually start being more conscious of what we're putting out and what we're saying and how that affects where we're going, what we're doing.
Yeah, those absolutes, because they're spells, right?
Yeah.
Every single word. Like, let's be more conscious so that we are, not calling in, but like, we are the creators of our reality, and every word, every thought, everything, there's that word, absolute, is a part of that. And so, again, comes back to radical self-responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. The frequency of everything is now, we need to be more conscious and aware of what are we putting out that then creates that backflow.
Yes, yeah, it's like the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Everything affects everything, and we're really seeing that in very instantaneous and
Real
tangible ways.
That's so wild. Yeah, and I'm sure most of our listeners will be going, yes. What do you call it? Oh my God, I'm having a total mental blank here. The flow back. What do we call that? Karma.
Oh,
Or
You're blocking it out already.
Yes, I'm totally resisting it already. But it's instantaneous. That's what I've been noticing last year too. Like, you think of someone or something and bang.
Boom, yeah.
Or, anything. It's like happening straight away.
In real time. Yeah, it's like the veil has become so thin that it is like this kind of, between worlds it's kind of very malleable, and it's just there, and we're in it, and so we've got to be careful actually
aware
of like super conscious of what we're bringing into our field in that sense.
I love that radical responsibility, because I've been thinking about that word too, the response ability, and how is your ability to respond when things are going shit, and how is, do we have the same response whether things are going bad or going good? We obviously don't, but I think we're moving into that area where we need to look at, okay, I want to be in a space where I can handle both of those situations with the same.
Oh, absolutely. Been having this conversation a lot recently with my partner, where it's, can you love the garbage bin just as much as you love your partner? It's like just loving everything. That's a really basic example. Oh, garbage bin, how I love you.
You smell different to my partner, but it's okay.
Love you just the same. But it's true, we give meaning to things, and that affects how we feel about them. And so, I've been quite sick recently, and in the beginning I was giving it the meaning of, I can't do this, it's the festive season, I'm with my family, I want to be doing XYZ. I gave it a meaning, and it's like, of course it's perfect. Everything is all a perfect part of your process, and when you can feel love and joy and gratitude and peace around all of it, your experience is not only better, but you're then emanating that out into the world, which is impacting and influencing everybody else as well, which is what we all want, really.
Absolutely.
Allowing them to care for you, and in that moment when you're more in a receiving mode, healing mode, and things like that, instead of an active mode where it's different vibe altogether. What you're doing, things, how you're interacting together.
And that's it. There's a season for everything, and there's a time and a place to embrace these aspects, but it's like very, very simply just coming back to loving it all. If we can just love it all, it works.
Yeah. We've been chatting about a word for 2023. Is there a word that's been jumping out? I have a word, and my word is discernment. And it's one of those things too, where for a long time I used to hear that word and not really think too much about it. And to be honest, I never really quite understood what it meant. And it's been really dropping in for me what it means. And I'm like, I really think this is my word for 2023. And then, so what happens is, as soon as I start thinking and you know, letting it in, it starts coming out in front of me in Instagram posts. So I'm getting, you know, my favorite YouTubers are sending videos around discernment and what it means and what happens when we really sit in discernment, and how, you know, it allows us to open up more to our higher self, who we are, and then our intuition can come in even more, because we're internally opening and expanding more when we're using discernment. And it's about not listening so much to what others are saying around us, and really listening to our own heart and our own intuition, and letting that expand, and you growing from there. And the word I just love. I'm just like, that's my word for 2023.
And it is very much in alignment with the numerology of 2023 being a 7, and that is the you know, the inward focus and the introspection, and you know, following your own voice and going within. And so that's always an important thing. But as we progress through this year, there's going to be lots of noise and narrative and chaos, dare I say. It's going to be really important to listen to that inner voice and trusting in that, in what's coming through for you. And also on that discernment piece is the awareness that energy is such a valuable currency, and being able to trust again in reading energy. You know, what somebody is saying or what somebody is doing might look one way, and your rational mind is like, yeah, but they're doing this and they're saying this. But the energy of it will be telling you something different. And it's like this real strong message to use your discernment, and then to trust yourself in that, of energy doesn't lie. Energy is absolutely, what we need to trust above and beyond everything else.
So listening to you say that, I'm just
I
having
get excited.
Definitely. The old words for that would be like first impressions. Like, you know, when you meet someone, they look, you know, they're dressed okay, or they're in this role, and things are adding up, as you say, the rational mind. But the impression you're getting, aka the energy, isn't right.
And you can't explain it. There's no logical reason, there's no rational reason. Everybody else might be like, what are you talking about? But if it's feeling off to you, there is a reason for that. And you know, whether that's a person, an environment, an opportunity, whatever it is, the energy of that is paramount.
So
Absolutely.
the lesson in that is trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Use your discernment.
Use your discernment.
And on that too, which is another funny thing that's been coming through, is this word false light. And I'm seeing it now more than ever. And
it's huge.
Even in people that I've been following for a long time, I'm like, wow, why do I feel different now when I watch that? You know, and I think there is a fair bit of false light coming through on the planet, and has been for a while. That's been very well disguised in love and light, and you know, and this is where the discernment comes in as well. It's like in those areas, and it can be very subtle too, because I was thinking, you know, we talk about discernment, and it's all about the individual. Like my awareness of someone's energy could be completely different from Amanda's, and completely different from you, because whatever that person sharing might work for you, but it may not work for me. So it's not about good and bad either. This is where that 5D comes in. It's more about, it's an individual understanding and discernment of the self.
So
it's not a good or bad thing. It's just you using your own ability to discern.
And being okay with the fact that your resonance with that person or your discernment with that personal thing or whatever is yours, and someone else's is someone else's, and that's okay. It's totally fine for that to be a thing.
That's an individual experience thing, isn't it? Because what you may not be needing to experience with that person, whether it's in a work situation or, you know, whatever kind of interaction or association, the person next to you or your friend, there might be another reason why they have a purpose.
Yes.
That, you know,
Like we're all interacting with each other in different ways at different times to help us on each stage of the journey, whatever that looks like, whether and like you say, you can't label it as a good or a bad experience. It just is. Everything just is. And so just being okay with that and weaving and dancing within it.
It's a bit like, just as we're talking about this, it's like going to a movie, like, and loving a movie, and then going out and telling your friends, oh my god, that was so good, you have to go and watch it, and they go and watch it and it's like shit, and they're like, what?
This?
What did you see in there?
What are you talking about?
You know? It's like, that's
is
what
like
I'm talking about. It's like, you know, some people need to see something and others don't.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely right.
Interesting. It's exciting times.
It is very exciting times.
So, where do we go next?
Well,
from there,
I guess because, you know, moving from one year into the next, like, I love what you said about writing that letter, because that's a powerful way of, you know, as it said, feeling into the gratitude and recognizing all the good things, which we often forget about. You know.
Totally, yeah. Because I mean, I was kind of reflecting on 2022, feeling like, oh my god, this year has been such a drag. It's been hard. I've been healing a lot physically, and you know, all of these things that just felt and heavy. And I was like, wait a second, like that's not how I want to remember this year, and it's also not a true representation of what happened. And so I started to go through and at first pick out, you know, pieces that were fun and joyful and expansive and all the rest of it, and then I realized it was all fun, joyful, expansive, and you know, all the rest of it, because I got something from everything, even if it felt like shit at the time. And so you know, gratitude is just something I keep coming back to again and again and again, because it's so powerful in that transformation of how we experience everything. Anything.
That's so interesting, because I was looking back as well, briefly. Very briefly.
Jo doesn't look back. I mean, she never doesn't forget things, but she loves moving forward.
I do, yes. So I was thinking about, like, 2020, 2021. There was a lot of like physical, straight up in your face change happening. You know, it was like you couldn't hide from it. Nobody could hide from it. We were almost being forced to look at something. And then 2022 came around, and it was almost like a lot of people would have said, oh, it was a quiet year, you know, because we're going back to normal kind of thing. And for me personally, I go, wow, I felt like 2022 was a big year for me internally.
Totally agree.
And it's like sometimes, and we were talking about this morning, sometimes we want more. A lot of the time we want more. You know, even in our minds, human. Like it's like that's not big enough. That's
we have an apple pie, but there's apples on the tree. When can we make another pie?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, you know, we're constantly wanting something heavier, something more, or something bigger, or whatever it is. And I'm talking about everything, not just one way. Where I feel like now we're coming into a world where, for the people that are wanting it, it's so quiet, it's so subtle, it's going within, it's really listening to what's inside, what's going on inside. It's not looking for anything external to fill anything at all. It's like it's a completely within internal growth. And it's so different from I'm just finding that really interesting, and that's my, you know, that's where I feel like we're moving into.
Oh, definitely.
And moving and have been, you know, throughout, I think the last, I don't know for you guys, but for the last kind of 6 months of 2022, I felt like it was a very internal growth.
Yeah, very much so, of seeing stuff come up and being faced and confronted with inner shadows, and knowing that there's no hiding from that stuff anymore. There's no suppressing it, there's no avoiding it, there's no brushing it under the carpet. It's coming up and it has to be looked at and dealt with, because it just cannot come through to where we're going. And so we're going to see that more and more and more, especially with anyone who has really been doing their damnedest to brush it away and to pretend it's not there, and to avoid. It's it's unavoidable.
Well, that's where that being brave, being bold comes in.
And because what I was just reflecting on then when you girls were talking is the density, like, you know, the lightening up, the increase, the raising the vibration, the frequency, dial up. And the last few years there's also been that movement, like a big movement into, say, vegetarianism or veganism, people changing their diet radically, which is also another way to raise your vibration and lose that density out of your system. And stimulants like coffee, you know, those kind of things that, you know, outside influences.
Coffee.
But the listeners have been talking about reducing the coffee intake. And you know, again, but recently there's because there's this continuous talk about diet and, you know, what to eat and what's good for you, what's not good for you, and the word flexitarian is becoming so much more popular. I'll say popular, but because it's about, well, you know, I love eating good, clean, fresh food that makes me feel alive. That you know how it makes you feel, how healthy you feel, the energy you have. But if I want to have fish, or if I want to have a nice piece of, you know, ethically grown, grass-fed beef, or you know, that it's about doing what feels your body's asking you to do. And it's that tuning in aspect, isn't it?
The inward journey, or trusting your intuition, trusting your body's wisdom to tell you what it needs and when. And that's something that, I've followed personally for a long time, out of the back of eating disorders, because, you know, any restriction just felt like, you know, if you say I'm not having that, well, what do you want? And it works. You know, your body knows, it tells you what it wants and when it wants it. And again, that's going to be different for everyone. Like, some people are going to thrive off more meat, some people are going to thrive off more raw, some people are going to thrive off more cooked veg, whatever. But you know, and it's not going to come from somebody you follow on Instagram, it's not going to come from a book or anything like that. It's only going to come from within, which is just another reflection of everything. It's all coming from within, and we really could do well to trust that on a minute by minute basis.
Absolutely.
Because that's a physical aspect of radical responsibility,
Definitely,
isn't it? To make changes around being brave, step out of your routine with what you normally get in the grocery trolley. Because it becomes a habit, what you normally buy, what you normally cook for dinner, what you normally, you know, when you're out with your friends on the weekend, if, you know, suddenly you're not drinking alcohol anymore, but your friends are, and, you know, dealing with that aspect of things. And because, I mean, that's a big one. We're seeing more and more non-alcoholic drinks coming into restaurants and bars, which is so cool. So
And it's just opening up this whole pathway of, like, it being okay to not drink alcohol, or whereas, you know, before it was like a whole big, like, oh, you're not drinking, what are you doing? And
you're letting us down.
You're not fun. Exactly. And so you know, being okay to be yourself and to honor what your body is calling you forward to.
No, that's a big one, that whole conditioning. You know, even the way we eat, you know, it's like just really listening more to, like you just said, you know, when is it needed and when is it not needed, and tuning into that.
Definitely, yeah. Like the volume of consumption is incredible. And I noticed this. We were in Noosa last week, and literally we were there in April at this same cafe that has like the best breakfast, and really wanted to go back there. And it was kind of like just this strange moment in time where it was just repeating exactly where I was and what I was eating, and I was totally cool with it. It was amazing. I was very excited to be there. But what I was observing was the people that were walking past looked just totally different, and I don't know if I was seeing them differently or I don't know, just something. And it was just this very profound awareness of inflammation, actually. It was like everybody was walking past, not everybody, a lot of people that were walking past, you know, grossly overweight, really bad skin, inflamed, puffy, red, and this is not no judgment. It's just an observation,
and energy field as well.
It just made me realize, you know, how normal it is to eat these highly processed toxic foods and beverages that are doing zero for our physical bodies, our, you know, most exquisite pieces of technology. And I was just like, you know, this feeling of something's got to change, like something's got to give, because we definitely can't keep feeding ourselves like that. It's not it's not conducive to,
because that, like you said, that inflammation, I mean, it underlies every illness and condition that you can put, you know, everything,
and people are popping pills
to control it,
and it's can just, so much can be helped with diet, lifestyle, and mindset, you know, how we think and feel about ourselves, and go about in the world and live our dreams and follow our truth, and all of that stuff, you know, eliminates a lot of those illnesses and anxiety and depression, all of that stuff as well.
And there's a lot of people out there that just aren't interested. You know,
absolutely.
There's just a lot of people that aren't ready, or it's not their path, not their journey. It's you know, they're unaware, they don't want to know, and that's okay.
That's perfect as well. Absolutely.
It's an interesting topic, because the other thing that I've been noticing is, for a long time, and I think we all have been, is how many things have been put in place to stop us from going free. Just waking up, just becoming more aware, becoming more conscious, you know, and alcohol is a big one. I know
huge,
I've been looking at a lot of psychedelics and natural plant medicines and stuff like that for a long time, and have experienced them myself, and alcohol just doesn't come close. And yet there's billboards everywhere for alcohol. There's, you know, we pump it on TV, and
goes alongside it.
It's glamorized,
and it's so bad for us. Yet, you know, all these wonderful medicines that are out there that come from Mother Earth, from Pachamama, that wants to help us, is being suppressed. And it's like, fuck, is anyone really noticing this?
I know, it's like, hello, like, is this not really obvious?
That, like, not the biggest wake-up call ever? You know, it's like they just do not want us to know. They don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to see what's available, or who we are, really, at a
how powerful
we are. It's like, and it goes for the food, you know. We look at these massive food chains. I mean, I don't even really need to go into this, because I know that our listeners get it. Where we get these cheap foods, where you know, a family that doesn't earn a lot of money can go and feed the whole family for $20.
Well, not even anymore though. Like, it's just like, that's not true anymore, because it's expensive.
You
know, but it's what you're also trying to say, and what you're saying with the alcohol and things, it's the excesses. Like, it's not a glass of wine or a nice gin and tonic, and you know, the conversation in the company, or it's, you know, it's excessive intakes of things, whether it's processed foods, and because none of it's really satisfying. You know, it's not actually hitting that box. It's an addiction, and like, you know, the poison of the sugar, it fuels the inflammation fire, And it all boils down to the underlying self-love, isn't it? Like, love yourself enough to choose not to do that, but be brave. And how are you going to be brave enough, strong enough to step out of that addiction?
Yeah, because when you're, you know, we all have our comfort zones.
Yeah.
And so it's like being brave enough to step out of the comfort zone just a tiny bit by bit, inch by inch. And over time, you know, that creates an extraordinary life and brings you back to who you really are. It's just taking those first steps. Yeah.
It's kind of like just opening the door a snippet, you know, and we're letting a tiny little bit of light in, but we can see more of us, and we're like, oh, I like that feeling, you know, that feels nice. Okay, what else is in there? What else can I do? And
I've got more energy in the morning. And I like this feeling. I'm going to keep not having that. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah. It's definitely it's everything that you've said, the being brave, being bold, and you know, taking responsibility in all aspects, and using discernment.
Using discernment. Yes. Coming back to that word.
You wrote a letter to say goodbye to 2022. Did you write a letter to say hello 23?
I actually didn't. Yeah, I set some intentions for 2023. It mostly, you know, it boils down to my word for 2023, which is trust. Because that was a big lesson I learned last year. I didn't trust myself, and there were so many times after the fact I've gone, I knew that, and I didn't trust myself, you know, that person, that situation, that opportunity, whatever. And so now I feel like if I don't use that as a springboard to really leap into a whole pool of faith this year, then, you know, that would be wasted. So I feel trust is really the big one. And also I've done it before where I've written a letter to myself at the end of the year, you know, December 31st, whatever the year is, and this year it just didn't feel quite right. And I think kind of tuning into the energy of this year is it's kind of, you know, it's a very much expect the unexpected. And we are going to see tremendous change this year. Like, we are definitely not going to be the same people. The world we're living in is not going to be the same world. And while that's always true, it's kind of a we ain't seen nothing yet kind of vibe. So I think the most important thing for me is what I'm feeling is to have faith and trust in yourself, that you'll know what you need to do when you need to do it, not need to make lots of plans and blah 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 of like what might happen or what is going to happen or whatever. Just trusting in the divine plan and staying in the moment, and knowing that everything is always working out for our highest good. And the ability to adapt, so, you know, that kind of bend like bamboo kind of thing where you know, you can be the calm in the eye of the storm because your center is grounded, it's anchored, you know who you are, you have control over your mind and your thoughts, and therefore your feelings and how you choose to view a situation. You know, are you choosing it with love, or are you choosing it with fear and or excitement?
How do you, can I just ask that question? So
I love that.
I'm learning too that it's a body thing, body feeling. So is that the same for you? Like, is that where you go to, or is it more of a feeling thing for you? Are you listen to your body and you know what's the truth or what's not, or is it
Yeah, that's a really good question, because I know that we all have different spidey senses, and, you know, for some it's the heart, some it's the sacral, some it's the throat, some it's the crown, and I think as an overarching thing, we all like, our heart's intelligence is the highest of all for all of us. I believe that. I don't, you know, I'm not saying that's the truth, I'm just saying that's what I believe. And, you know, there's a lot of science behind that as well. And so, and if, you know, for my human design, for example, I'm a sacral responder, so my spidey senses should come from my sacral, but I haven't mastered that yet. I can't say I'm great at listening to that aspect. So I do, I'm learning to trust my heart more, I would say. So yes, it's a feeling. And I think where this gets confusing is we become addicted to things we do regularly. So if we are addicted to drama or to stress or to compromise or to making ourselves wrong, that's been a big one for me. I should have done this better, I should have done that better, whatever. If you're addicted to those kind of things, your body is addicted to that, so it's going to the comfort is going to lead you to more of those things. So trusting your body when you're addicted to sabotaging behaviors is not a reliable source. So that's where you need to be in some kind of disciplinary practice, such as meditation. Not saying that's the only way, it's a way that I have used to be able to discipline your mind and body so that you're not being ruled by those pre-existing addictions.
Wow, yes.
Yeah, so I think there's kind of levels or layers or stages to that journey, and also having a more clear vessel definitely helps as well. So, you know, good clean water, foods that are helping you run at your optimum potential, all of that stuff is going to be helpful for that as well. So you're not, like, I felt that when I've drunk more alcohol and I can feel myself losing my connection, and that's like, oh no, like I don't like that. That's not what I'm here for. So that's kind of a bit of a tangent, but
no, that's perfect. It's perfect because I have heard that around meditation is when you get better at meditation, because look, meditation's hard.
Oh, it's
really
so hard.
Yeah, it's so hard. But when we get to a place where we can start asking questions, and some of the questions can be, what will the signs be, or can you tell me the sign for yes, or can you tell me the sign for no? Can you show it in my body? Can you yell it to me or whatever it may be? But in the stillness, we can then understand better how we are getting the responses from our higher self and from our guides and whoever else.
And because on one aspect of that, you're opening your channel, so you are, you know, strengthening that connection to source, and then also you're teaching your body who's boss, which is your higher consciousness, because the body's going to sit there, especially at first, be uncomfortable, fidgety, hot, cold, itchy, hungry, you need to go to the toilet, you know, it's going to throw up all the things. Yeah, exactly. And so the more you sit and you tell it no, the more you're going to be able to trust the nudges when they are coming through, and those, you know, those heart nudges. And also heart breathing is something that really helps to strengthen that heart-mind connection, so that you're not ruled by, you know, overthinking, sabotaging thoughts, etc., etc. Monkey mind. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Just escaped me. Just floated off into the ether.
I was thinking, what was coming for me too is like, I've been seeing a lot around rituals and people having like a oh god, that just came into my mind now, it's gone again. This is the theme for 2023. Be quick on your feet. But having a little stand, an altar, you know, where you go and you sit, and you don't have to meditate, but you just sit and you be with whatever are the things around your altar that resonate, your crystals and your cards and whatever else you have, your beads, and being able to sit in that space and ask for you know, can you support me? Can you help me? Can you tell me?
It's like when what you were trying to remember, Narelle, was I was thinking maybe the other thing was that a bit of a sacred space where, you know, you can be still. Like it's like again that programming when you move into that space, even if it's in the corner of your lounge room or a spare room or whatever. You as soon as you walk in there, your body and your head goes, oh, okay, I'm in my meditation space. I'm in my still space.
Yeah.
You know, it's a connection with that area.
I remembered what I was going to say, so I'll just pin it.
Yeah.
But I'm actually on the fence with the sacred space thing, because I have a sacred space that I have for meditation and an altar with a few pieces and crystals and things. And I absolutely feel the value of that. And it's like, it's literally like plugging in. So, it's like you're plugging into source when you get into that space and that energy. And it does, some, like if I go and sit where Lee, my partner, meditates, for example, every day, I'll go and sit in that space. I can feel the energy of that as well. So there's lots around that. And I also feel that we don't want to rely on those things. No. So that when we're traveling, when we're doing whatever, it's not like, I don't have my sacred space. It's being able to take that wherever you are, so that you can literally be, I always think of it like a mum sitting there with young kids, and they're all screaming and carrying on around the house, and she's sitting there just like zen, totally like, no matter what's going on around me, I can be in my sacred space.
Distraction is not getting to her.
Wherever that is.
Exactly. So, there's always two sides of everything, and that's, I'm kind of on both sides, if that's a thing.
Yeah, I know, I totally get that, because I think sometimes my whole house is that shells here or crystals there, or I can just touch into that sensory thing. But one of my favourite places to meditate is a walk on the beach, and just stop at a certain point right by some rocks and spend some time in connection with the sun. There might be a cloudy day, might be a sunny day, whatever. Just be in that space and appreciate what it is and feel what's coming in. Which always feels amazing.
Well, it might be exactly that, just bringing it back to you.
Portable.
That within, that we can take whatever we need, wherever we go. With us, it's always there.
I'm sort of seeing the heart as like this sacred altar space, like just whatever it looks like for you, with flowers or crystals or incense or whatever, and
so
taking that everywhere.
I love that. The heart is the sacred. Your heart can be your sacred altar space. Your heart is the sacred altar space. That is beautiful.
I just want to rewind a little bit, because you said something that was like bing.
Oh yes.
Around being able to say no, even to this is the other thing that I've been tuning into too, is like this false light thing. It can actually come through us as well. And back to the discernment word. That needs to be in play. But I think for me, it's like, I think if someone started speaking to me, like, I'll just use this as in general chat, but if someone came into me and started speaking to me, I would literally hand over my sovereignty. I'm saying that, but I practice to not do that. But I'd be that excited that I would be like, yes, I'll do whatever you say, because I've been dying for this to happen, kind of thing,
I love that use the words, dying for this to happen.
I've been hanging for this to happen. And then the part of me laughs and says, you wouldn't do that, Joe, because you would have to be able to use your discernment in tuning in to know whether, is this what it needs to be, I need to hear right now? Is this not what so it was interesting when you said before how sometimes you have to say no, stop, or whatever it was, because it can come through, this false light thing is really intriguing me, but it can come through in many ways.
And so I think, and again, it comes back to the feeling in your body, because you know whether it's true or false, for want of a better term, but because the truth feels open and loving and expansive, and the false feels almost heavy and dense, and something not quite right. It's that energy thing, and so discernment.
It's because I watched a video the other day about a guy who's been communicating with aliens or beings, and he was talking about, half the planet, if an alien just dropped into their bedroom one night and started talking to them, that they would believe everything that they're saying, because they would be so overwhelmed that they're so special because they've been chosen, like the chosen one kind of thing, and that they would kind of hand over themselves if this person was saying loving stuff to them. This is sounding so woo woo. I know.
No, but it's that thing of like,
But the ego wants to believe in anything that's outside of ourselves if we're on that path. And he was saying, this is where we need to really tune in to, and this is what's happening and starting to happen more, is this whole, and it goes back to where we started at the very beginning, that there's lots of beings coming through on the planet now, and even more, like you said about the veil being thinner, are coming through now, that it might be telling us all these wonderful things, but it's not the truth. It's interesting. I know, it's like,
because you also shared that with me, and what you this person said was that if a person or a being is talking to you in a way and saying, you're amazing, we've chosen you because you're the special one, can you do this, can you do that, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, and you go, oh God, yes, I'm the chosen one, I'm gonna do it. He said no true person in their integrity or truth, whether they're a person, mentor, being, ET, whatever, is going to ask you to do anything without checking in with you first, and having some kind of relationship with you where they ask for your permission to be present, ask for your permission to engage.
That's right. Thank you for clarifying that.
And that's the true light, because it's the authentic recognition of each other's light, as opposed to manipulation and
deceiving.
If there's a sense of there's like a hierarchy, then that's not the truth, because we're all one. Whether it's a being from another planet or somebody else on this planet, we're all one. So I suppose what I was trying to say is that there are other beings that aren't in human form that are telling us stuff that's not right as well, that are in human form.
No, that aren't.
That aren't. Yeah.
That are coming through different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the duality of it, right? So we've got beings from other realms, dimensions, planets, of both the light and the dark, and then exactly what exists on this planet as well.
And both are coming through more than ever now.
And that's because the veil between worlds is so thin. Exactly.
Because if I put that into like everyday context too, like say if you think about your phone or your computer, the amount of spam and fraudulent messages that are coming through. It's ridiculous. And so it's a reflection of that increase in energy around deceiving and we're talking about this yesterday, hijacking your energy, your attention, and sometimes it's about monetization, trying to rip you off, but it's all about deceiving and pulling you into something that is false, whether it's a false light, whether it's a scam or whatever, that type of thing. So discernment,
all of it's amping
powerful, is getting a bigger word as we're speaking. And the trust, and your heart is a sacred altar space. So,
but I think I just want to add one thing on the end of that is just the remembrance or the reminder that where attention goes, energy flows. Right? So if we are becoming more aware of that and tuning into that more, then of course you're going to be experiencing more of that. And so I choose not to.
And block those.
And so it doesn't.
And block those spammers.
And it does. Like I noticed, like with that exact example with the, I was getting a lot of text messages, and I started to feel like, where the bloody hell are these people getting my number from? Like, blah blah blah. And I was like, whatever, just ignore it. Like it doesn't mean anything. Just delete, blah blah blah. and then I just don't get them
Yeah.
anymore. Like very occasionally will I get a text, sometimes an email, but it was happening a lot because I was getting frustrated and
So an energy
buying into
engagement.
it.
So
Yeah,
things
it's like the
energy.
same as everything, right? So what we focus on expands,
Yeah.
and what we give our most valuable resource, our attention, our energy, where we give that creates the consciousness of that
Yeah.
what we're focusing on. And so if we're giving our attention and our energy to the false light, for example, we're only feeding it. And
Yeah.
so I prefer to focus
Focus
on
on that.
where
Yeah.
I want my energy to go and what I want to expand.
Yeah. I think that might be a really nice
Well,
place to.
I know, because I just wanted to ask Narelle
Yes.
about when we just went there about to other planets, other beings, other
Dimensions.
So from the point of view of with the light language, how's the energy feeling? Like, do you feel like that's coming through more strongly, or like that, like, I mean, it's a part of you, you've been working with this for a while, and you get downloads. How is it feeling? Like, that's what I'm wanting to
Yeah, it's
explore.
I couldn't say. Yeah, I don't. It's always expanding, and I'm definitely feeling. There's a, I don't know if it's just a deeper call to allow more of it through, that's kind of happened in the last couple of weeks, really. But yeah, that might have been something to do with me being unwell.
Yeah. Opening. You're being really open, vulnerable.
Yeah, there's a lot that wants to come through, and like I'm feeling it more when it's not necessarily coming through verbally or written. I'm like feeling it coming through as like an energy.
Yeah.
Like for example, my mum and I went to Stonehenge when I went to the UK, and as soon as we drove into the car park, we both just felt this like whoa wave of energy, and then I just felt all of this light language come into my system. It was like if you can imagine like computer code, but light language code, and it just was like and it actually was quite nauseating. So I'm seeing and feeling and sensing more of that coming in.
Well, we're like that.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
We'll have to
That's a powerful like energy grid
Yeah.
right there, isn't it? With it's like,
So I'm wanting to do more with it, and
Yeah.
I'm just open to the guidance of how that looks, and
so
it's going to be
exciting.
presented.
We will definitely have to get you back in, or just for maybe, I don't know, when you're feeling it one day when you can just come in and start doing it.
I would love to do a
Yeah.
transmission.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to.
Or when it
Yeah.
feels
you
right.
can see on Narelle's Instagram that
Yes.
you have, and your Facebook, I guess it's just, some of your
We'll have some
sharing
on
of
there,
your
but
light
mostly on
language.
Instagram.
Yeah, which is absolutely, again, exactly what you said about Stonehenge. As soon as you start watching what you're sharing there, you feel that it's a digital thing, but it's a real thing. You feel the energy, what you're communicating out.
Yeah.
It's very embracing.
It is.
So-
I love it. I resonate with it big time. It's really special and really beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's shifting something that can't be seen. That's what I love.
Totally. Yeah. It's that unknown, and again that comes back to the trust thing. It's like it's trusting in the energy that you're feeling and you're receiving and experiencing, without needing to logically understand what, why, how, who, etc. So I love it.
Well,
was there anything else that you had to share around?
Oh, let's have a little look and see if there's any gold nuggets.
Going to finish today. You've travelled quite a bit.
Oh, I do actually just want to share about a lot of gifts coming kind of online. So we're going to be seeing more like new modalities and gifts and things coming through in our beingness, that again, it's like trusting in what that is. And this, I can kind of relate to this when my light language first came through. I mean, I had it as a kid, but I didn't really understand or know what it was or whatever. I just kind of thought I was singing random gibberish. So when it kind of reactivated, that feeling of like, this is something, just trusting in what was coming through without, you know, needing to read it in a book or something like that. And there's going to be more of those things coming in. And so for, the listeners, just to trust in what's coming through you. You know, you might be birthing a new modality or something.
Oh, that's exciting.
There's going to be a lot of that, and that's going to be used across all different types of industries and, you know, corporate, everywhere where these modalities are being used, in our everyday.
So this could be technologically based too. Like, this could be people creating something that, like, I know that lady creates they look like TV screens with squiggly lines, and it actually a frequency or resonance comes out that actually has been curing people.
Yes, yeah.
So it could be anything.
Anything like that, absolutely, because any like physical technology is just an extension of our human technology and thought forms coming into manifestation. So, so there's going to be a lot of that, and we're just going to we're going to see a lot of new modalities. I
think I find that really exciting because a conversation I had with my son last week. I showed him this picture of it looks like a big fuzzy ball with a little caterpillar on it, and it's walking along a tightrope, and it's actually a nerve cell forming a new neuron. And it's incredible, the microscopic technology. And then he comes back and he says, have you seen the slime that forms the Tokyo railway system? And I'm like, what? So he sends me the information, and it's actually an experiment these scientists did with this particular slime that when it lands on, say, they pop it on oats, and it goes out and spreads like a mass over it, and then it starts to form little tubes.
The mycelium network.
And mycelium does the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I've seen that experiment with a mycelium network to work out the most efficient route.
Yeah, because they form these subways or routes of the most efficient way of transporting the nutrients. And they did an experiment of putting the oats around, say, similar points to the Tokyo subway, and the slime did its thing, and it actually then devised quicker, more efficient routes. So then they're going, well, engineers could be learning off this slime, and like psyllium is one of the most intelligent plants,
absolutely.
and as we know, you've got so much to offer. And then there's discussion around med beds as a technology, and also then the discussion around, well, are the med beds actually a physical thing, or are we the med beds? And I know you speak about our bodies as being the most amazing piece of technology, and I agree. I just think, you know, we're incredibly formed. And so what you just say then about the gifts coming through, it's like activating that massive percentage of who we are that we just don't utilize.
It's just dormant.
Just
and
unlocking.
And it was utilized however many eons ago, and that's just all now like waking back up. So it's all there, it's all, you know, we've had it before, and so now we're getting to access it again, and it's very exciting.
It is, because I was just thinking about how limited our mind is.
In that space. Like so boxed in. And this is just like, let's blow the roof off this.
Yay.
And
let's be bold, let's be brave in 2023.
Expect the unexpected. Bring it on.
Have faith, use discernment.
Yes.
Be healthy, love ourselves enough to activate our
dormant DNA.
Dormant DNA.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, Narelle.
Thank you for having me, beautiful ladies.
Bless. Thank you for listening, and remember, all links to our guest are in the notes. Leave us some comment here or message us on Instagram how our guest today connected with you, or perhaps something you wish to share. A special thank you to the blissful Ksenia Luki for our theme song. Joe and I will be with you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
She teaches me lessons, and boy does she sing. Her voice sways like a hummingbird, flies like a shooting star. She whispers, you were never born, so you